I'm going to do a little talkie. I don't usually do them nowadays because my son usually keeps me up most of the night, so I have to really concentrate on my riding. But he's starting to sleep through the nights now, so I'm actually riding more alert. But this little talkie is going to be on keeping yourself safe during the winter months. Now, there is a good reason for it. A lot of bikers who are new to winter riding get a little bit carried away. Now, the reason I say that is during the summer months, there's a lot of bikes on the road. I mean, a lot, you know. I'll be coming down here and, you know, I'll be passing lots and lots of bikes. I haven't seen one yet this morning. I've already done about 8 miles. So the natural flow of biker traffic helps car drivers see you because they're more aware that bikes are filtering past, etc, etc. During the winter months, they're not, because a lot of bikers stop riding. So it's very, very important during the winter months to take extra care when filtering. Now, a lot of new people to winter riding will see what I'm seeing now, a completely empty filter stretch in front of them, and open up that throttle and think, yeah, it can do this filtering really fast. The problem with that is, because a lot of the car drivers are not looking out for bikers, because, you know, they know that most of the bikers have stopped riding now, they chop and change lanes a lot more, and they don't always use their indicators, sadly. This is what's happened probably this morning when a biker I've just been past, like this guy that's riding in the spot where we all filter. But you will find that, you know, thank you, you'll find that a lot of car drivers have forgotten about bikes, mopeds, etc. on the road, until you start getting to the centre of a city where the bikes and moped riders are still more prevalent, shall we say. Now, the other thing is keeping yourself warm. Really, really important during winter riding. Whether that be winter gloves, winter grips. Can we get through? Yes, we can. Or heated gloves and heated grips. Now, most winter gear, as long as you buy a semi-decent set, i.e. non-heated, should last you for a 45-minute to an hour ride without being heated or plugged into the mains of the bike, etc. Now, that's not guaranteed, of course. My gear will usually last, well, my gloves will usually last about 45-50 minutes. The jacket and trousers will last virtually all day. They're really good. My boots, there's summer riding boots, believe it or not. So I have to wear an extra thick pair of socks. They will last about 2 hours before I start feeling the cold. So it's really important to keep yourself warm. The warmer you are, the faster your reactions will be. The colder they are, the slower your reactions will be. Now, the other thing is make noise. You've got a throttle. Do use it and make some noise every now and again. Don't go over the top, because in the UK you can actually be done for doing exactly that. I don't know what the actual term they call it, but you know, you can actually get a ticket for it. But if you're in a tight spot, use that throttle, make a bit of noise. Car drivers know what you're doing most of the time. That you're just saying, hey, I'm here. If you do you can also do the beep bit, but most people respond to the throttle of a bike because they know exactly what it is that's causing it or doing it. And also make sure your lights are working. Which way are you going, matey? The other thing, it's taking care for some other bikers. Now, like I say, some of them get carried away during the winter, and they will ride a lot faster than they do in the summer without actually realising it. It's not a case of them being bad riders or anything, it's just because the filter areas that we go down are less congested. So they kind of ride a bit fast without actually realising that is what they are actually doing. Now the other thing is, check your brakes, check your tyres, etc. They're all going to be much more needed in the cold weather. Now, cold conditions, check before you leave there's not ice. Now I will ride in virtually all weather conditions except for ice. There's just no way I will not ride in ice. One, the repair bill's too much, and two, the pain's too much. So I won't ride in ice. Easy way to check that is look for the puddles outside your house, frosted up windscreens, etc. Check the weather forecast as well, but the weather forecast is usually a bit shit. The best thing I find is if you have like a bird bath or whatever in your garden, check that hasn't frozen solid. If it's just got a thin layer of ice, you'll probably be okay. Other thing is, if you do go riding out and it's questionable about the ice, a good tip is if you're riding on roads that are covered, i.e. you've got trees overhanging and things like that, do not ride in the shadowed areas. Those shadowed areas won't have received any sunlight yet if it's early in the morning, and there will still be ice in those areas, so be very, very careful of those. White lines, etc. Be careful of those on icy days, as they are even more slippery than usual. As for what sort of gear to buy, during the winter I prefer, I prefer all round actually, is textile gear. Predominantly because it's cheaper. I am not a rich person. But also because it's much better for waterproof, much better for wind protection, and most textile gear of any decent quality nowadays will come with a removable lining for winter and summer riding. It's literally like riding with a nice warm blanket around you. So it keeps your core temperature up, which is really, really important. If you're going to do longer rides, heated grips, heated gloves. It's really important that you start to look after your hands. Now, not just because when you get home you've got freezing cold fingertips and your hands feel like someone's just dipped them in a fire. And I do get that because I do not have heated grips and I do not have heated gloves. But it helps with the braking again. If you can't feel your brakes and gears properly because your hands have got that cold, you know, you're going to be in serious trouble. So do look into investing. But like I say, during the winter months I just stick to commuting. I don't go for any long rides, so my commute is usually, depending on traffic, 45 minutes to an hour. My gear will last that time. If it goes over that time, I pay for it with numb fingertips, shall we say. And they're dancing around. Any biker who's ever been out, or if you've ever been skiing, etc., and you've got your hands really, really cold, and then you go into a warm house afterwards, and the blood starts flowing into the end of your fingertips after it's been so cold, you know what that feels like. So I've probably got some video of me swearing like a trooper, shall we say, as my fingers start to defrost. Come on, matey.